Good afternoon, boys and girls, and welcome back yet again to another SMITE Patch Notes show. It's 4.9, the Nine-Tailed Terror. I think you have an understanding of what that might be at home, but we'll get to that in a little bit.
It's a lot of tails.
It is. Joining me on the
8.
desk for the art section, or for the skin section, as we should call it, is, of course, Chuck, Fishman, and Asia as well. Guys, how we doing?
Doing well.
Good.
This is a good patch?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah.
best of patches.
Cool stuff.
The best of patches.
Every patch we do is the new best patch.
Better than the last one.
I don't know about that.
Constantly striving
Unequivocally.
for higher standards.
Better than the next.
What happened
That's-
last week, by the way? What
10
happened
out of
last
10.
time? How was last times? Was it good?
We replaced you.
There was a dog I heard.
Oh,
There was
yeah.
a dog.
I
Yeah.
wasn't here either.
Yeah.
You were here either?
I was sick.
So you let this happen?
The dog was chill.
You're one of the regulars. You're
The
not
dog was the best part
The
of it.
dog
was
was
chilling.
right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think we should do that every week.
Very
but-
relaxed.
Let's
yeah.
start off with skins, as always.
Yeah,
We're going to
let's get
begin
into it.
over in the skin section and go straight into Stone Sentinel Camaotz, I believe, is going to be the first one we look at today. Stone Sentinel, I'm guessing that's exactly what it's going to be, is
A stony
a
sentinel.
Stone Sentinel.
It's gargoyle inspired.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really awesome. This was, we were thinking about things that would fit really well with Camazot's body type. This is one that
look at that card.
Chuck and some of the artists came up with real early, and one of our favorite things about this one, too, is you'll notice he has a long tail, which he doesn't have on the base skin. Gives him a very different feel.
So you had to add that in the art as well, of the movement and things as well,
Yeah,
right?
so it's kind of complicated because there's skeletal limitations, bone counts and whatnot. But so on different characters, we try to have variations where we take off one thing and add another thing. And on this case, he didn't need dangly necklaces or some of his other accoutrements.
Right.
So we gave him a long tail.
It didn't make as much sense for a gargoyle to be wearing jewelry. The jewels are built right into him. See?
Yes.
And that turned out really
I like
well.
the color choices in this one, and normally I don't really care that much about color choices, but I was a little bit worried with Stone Sentinel. It's going to look like a rock the whole time, or steel, one or the other, and it doesn't feel either way with this one either.
He's got a little mixture. Yeah, he's kind of got this steely-looking fur.
The material came out really well.
Yeah,
Looks
it's
really
cool.
nice, the texture.
And we brought out some focus points with the gems, which give a little variety there too, which is nice.
We've got the blue effects that tie in well with the gems.
Also
then-
with that kind of rainy evening card art.
Was that back off, he said?
I'm not sure.
It sounded like an F at first. That's what I'm saying. Please say it was a B.
And he's got his bats are little gargoyle faces. That's so
Oh,
cool.
that is awesome. I like the...
And I loved that from the Fenrir werewolf, where the graveyard pops up.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
and we got a good, rocky crumbling in that one. That sounds very different from the base. I hear the rocky crumbling again. I like that. It's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to hang around long today. It's time for the voice pack. So, gentlemen, shut up!
There is so much power in you. Brutal.
That's the base voice back.
Pom Pom.
Rise upon a true death god.
Pom Pom.
He even assured me he had just purchased all the voice packs.
Pom Pom.
Something must be bugged on the dev side.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Blame the devs, Pom Pom.
He did. He told me he had it. It might be Tina's fault. It might be our fault. So, okay, this one does have a voice pack. You can hear that in some of the animations.
Can you make it up for us? Why don't you just give me a rendition?
It's a little bit deeper and...
Chuck, give me the rendition.
I don't.
No.
Give it a go.
I don't know.
Give it, guess it quickly. Guess it quickly.
I'm not familiar enough with this
None of us were
particular
the
voice
writers,
pack
so-
to-
Really? If only Tina was here, she'd give me a rendition.
She would.
she would make some profanities with a deeper voice.
And it probably would be in the voice pack as well. So it wouldn't
close.
really surprise me knowing Tina. Well, we will try and get the voice pack. Obviously, after the patch notes show, we do release the patch notes, boys and girls. So what we will do is actually make sure that is on the patch notes for you to listen to, not always.
And the skin reveal videos.
Exactly. Sorry about that one, but moving steadily along thanks to Pom Pom's amazing help.
Go ahead and tweet
is,
him and
I
let him know you're
believe
disappointed.
It's Nebula Medusa, which is up next.
Oh,
Nebula, ooh. Spacey
Yeah.
theme. I like the spacey theme ones.
Yep. Cosmic.
Yeah, we've gotten really good response from these cosmic skins in the past, so we thought this fit Medusa really well.
And this was a really interesting challenge because
cool.
the way Medusa's body is set up is that she it uses a tiling on her snake tail. So
Right.
we had to do all of this complicated figuring out to get the snake body and the snake hair onto a separate texture so we could have one continuous flow of space that flowed
Gotcha.
down those things.
So they're not actually divided, it's all one connected layer altogether of the color.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
really
Normally it
cool.
would look
Yeah.
kind of patterned or repeated, but
Yeah.
here you see this big galaxy flowing all the way down her body.
So she's got kind of some black hole theme stuff, and it's
Oh, those are
turned
cool.
out really
Little
cool,
eclipse.
Is that the acid spit tiger? That looks really good, that. Oh, no,
This
that's
is
the
the,
primed white.
the
Sorry, I
Viper.
like that tiger. Tiger's nice on that one. And obviously the acid spit.
void spit.
Yeah, the
Just surrounded by darkness.
I like the stars. Do you see the stars that get created when she does stuff? When she does her abilities?
She's creating
The
universes.
claw attack looks particularly cool on this
Everywhere
one.
she goes.
Yeah.
Goes as well.
All right, but the stoning
Oh,
is
you excited
really,
Oh, really?
really the thing. You got to kill him though to.
Yeah,
He's gonna
get
kill
do
him.
something
Yeah, that
useful.
That
So
is
he's just-
cool.
Oh, that is
he's
cool.
got orbiting meteors and stuff.
Yeah, so he's kind of turns into like an asteroid with a little asteroid belt hovering around him.
Nice. I hadn't seen that yet. That's
No,
cool.
it looks really good. Now, on top of that, obviously, it has a voice pack for the love of all that is holy. Pom Pom, please be right.
He's trying to show off
Oh
her
yeah,
mask
check it
face.
out. Yeah.
This is hard for him to do.
Oh.
He's slow mode and
trying
camera
so hard.
attached. So yeah, she just has this swirling.
Galaxy,
Void.
yeah, inside of her
Very cool.
face there.
Because to be honest, we can't actually see a real face because we'd all be turned to stone anyway, right?
Sure.
That'd be bad.
See that lore reference? You see it? I'm learning.
Then we
lore
end up like
references.
Camaotz skin.
What, dead?
No, he's
stone.
a,
He
he's
was
just
just a
a
stone.
1 minute ago.
So do you know if
So I
it's
forgot
really-
about you didn't have a
You've been
voice
gone
pack.
one show, you
It
lose all your
did-
chops.
Listen, it didn't have a voice pack, so I forgot about it. That's just the way I am.
exist.
Okay?
It does seem like it would be confusing if you ulted a gargoyle Camaotz and killed him.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So,
What
if you
would-
play against Medusa, buy
did
the
we think of
gargoyle
that?
skin.
Yeah, people won't
and
know
then
if your
people won't know
statue
your
are real.
statue.
Yes.
Genius!
Stand perfectly still.
Skins do
In-game
give in-game
advantage.
advantages. There
Yeah.
we go. We're finally done it at high-res studios. Now,
Have to
voice
ban.
pack time.
Yep.
Here we go.
Woohoo! I'll kill you last.
Nope. Something's. That's base Medusa as well.
I will say,
I'm familiar with that voice because she says my favorite Medusa line, which is, "I'll make everyone feel my pain."
Can someone
It's like,
get
oh,
Can someone
God.
get Todd Stew on the line for me? Because like I need to fire whoever is in charge of making sure this works. And if it is Pom Pom, we should just get rid.
We play
I'm
tested
not being
these
funny.
skins
This is
last
a joke.
night, and they worked in dev. So I'm sorry, I don't know what happened.
Typical high-res playtest.
Minor
Works in
technical
practice, but
difficulties.
sorry, works in playtest, but in development, different story. You find
the
that
old-
own shot. I'm
the old
sorry.
programmer, it works fine on my machine.
Next up.
Yeah, that's the programmer
We'll
quote.
move straight along this voice pack. This next one does come with a voice pack as well, but it may not work, so be prepared for that one. But it's Shobo Kuzenbo.
That's right. Like
Just wanted to get that right. Shinobi.
Kuzenbo.
I know, but it's Shinobo.
Shinobo.
I like the idea behind it.
He's a Japanese turtle stealthy assassin.
Warrior.
He's a
Skilled,
kappa.
skilled with ninjutsu arts.
I love the card art on that, by the way. I like the way the baby kappa in the background, the mini kappa, is like on his shoulders with the same gear on it. It's kind of cute. And there he actually looks pretty mean in game.
Yeah, he's got a nice
Oh, yeah.
rubbery skin.
We
He's
have
got
the-
this sweet.
He doesn't look like a
box
sewer
turtle
friend
shell.
to me, that's for sure. Like, he doesn't look friendly like the sewer guys did, but this guy, completely different story.
I don't know what IP you're referencing.
You don't need
I'm
to.
not familiar.
You don't
Yeah.
need
No,
to.
I don't get it.
That's my job, not yours. Don't
He's
worry.
got
It's fine.
he's got green, glowing head water.
Like it
Oh,
was
that's clever.
Radioactive or
Some kind of ooze, if you will.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I wonder where that's from. Into game we go, though. The basic attacks, obviously. And I need to see the kappa, man.
And he's got a very neat kind of comic book-esque style to his.
Yeah, the bass voice is in.
Sounds like the base voice.
little
yeah.
kappa.
Oh, he's so cute.
Yeah.
He's got his little bandana and his radioactive.
To be fair, I only want to play Kuzenbo to get the mini kappas to kill people. Like, that's the only reason I really enjoy playing Kuzenbo, because like, I want the baby kappas to just kill them and I don't have to do anything, just sit and watch, you know?
That shell spikes
Play
looks
from your
really cool
couch.
too. I like the big spikes.
Yeah.
That looks awesome. Yeah, those fatter spines are cool.
And the ultimate as well.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
That is very cool.
That's really cool. I like that.
That's the first time I've seen that. That turned out really well.
I like the decision that you didn't speed it up too quickly, so you can actually just see it slowly rotate
Yeah.
around underneath the base. That's really
Appreciate
good.
it.
Oh, that's a sweet
And he
jump.
just front flips too?
Is that a special jump unique to this skin?
I think so.
Yeah, he's not-
Because
he
Kuzenbo
doesn't have
definitely
that.
doesn't do that.
No, he doesn't.
What happened? Is his head water not filling up?
His water keeps
His
falling out.
passive meter is empty.
He's not taking
so
damage.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, yeah. The classic, I don't remember the passive. I always struggle with the passives more than anything else. He just come with a voice pack. We'll give it a very quick test, but he's probably not going to be there, guys. Round 3.
Kappa, kappa, kappa,
Nope. No, sadly not. Unfortunately, I apologize once again, guys, for not having these voice packs, but
Oh,
they
that's
will
a
be
sweet jump,
available
too.
in the patch notes for you guys. Obviously, afterwards, we're going to reveal, as per usual, we're going to see a little bit of a closer look. Moving straight along, though, we can go to the next skin. This one, luckily, doesn't come with a voice pack. It's the Storm Raven Jing Wei skin.
Yeah.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah.
Ooh. That's pretty good for a tier 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is we've definitely been figuring out how to up the game on those items.
You can tell her live journal poetry is fierce.
Well, let's have a little look at her in-game. Obviously, the abilities don't change, but she's magnificent. She's like a
So
little pretty
stormy.
princess. But she's like, it's not exactly the same, and normally we don't reference it, but she reminds me of what the evil Frozen princess for some reason in that outfit. Even though she's nothing like it, it's just like, that's the sort of style I get from that, you know?
It's really a stretch, Hindu. Just let it go.
I just, oh gosh. Fishman, you defeated me in combat. I have nothing else
In
left
a
to
battle
say.
of
Basically
wits.
by saying,
To be
"I
fair, no
defeat
one
you
won
now."
in that exchange.
No, no. It was the viewers that truly lost. But we'll take it. Well, let's look at her in-game. Obviously, the abilities do stay the same of it, but it's a fantastic skin with the amount of work that seems to have gone into it. Is more than what I've seen from all of the tier 2s in the past. Was it harder to do that, Chuck?
We've been just really figuring out the envelope because we have a bunch of restrictions on the tier 2s in that they have to look good with the original effects. They can't have any animation work necessary, which is why they have the kind of cost profile that they have. So us just figuring out ways to make them as cool as possible while fitting inside that envelope. We're just getting a little better at it over time.
Let's move on. We've got one more skin still to show you right now. We'll just get onto that one as well, which is Ganesha Mastery skins are available this time round. So obviously they're not the tier 2s or the tier 3s, but the Mastery skins are always important too. He's so regal. He's so regal.
He's chilling.
Very relaxed.
He's so
right now.
unconcerned. He's like, guys, we got this. Just I play some wards. Let's get the Gold Fury. Easy game, easy life.
What's the issue? I'm getting kills anyway because my passive range is even bigger, you know? I'm just going to chill here on my couch and you're going to do all the work for me. That looks really good.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
That blue turned out really well, too.
Yeah, it did.
That looks sick.
To be fair, the blue and gold, they don't really sell me personally. Like, I'm not a bigger fan of the blue and gold, but that one,
I think it looks,
really
it looks particularly good. On
You just master past that too fast, Hindu. You're so OP.
do.
You're rocking legendary or diamond within a couple of days.
I come back, you fire shots at me, and then I come back and they're like, hey, you're a good guy too. I'm like, oh, this feels
Of
good.
course.
I
This
like
one
the
looks
black
sick
and gold.
too, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been trying to do a lot of kind of tinting on the skin for the guys that are kind of beast dudes or whatever, where they have lots of exposed skin since, you know, diamond.
And the diamond as well.
Oh, I see what you mean. The skin is a little bit tinted, but
Yeah.
it's still very clearly
Right,
different.
it's kind of
than the-
modified to be different from the base, but still kind of match. But you know, we wanted to get away from the thing where guys ended up feeling like weird mirrry statues.
Right, the old school ones. Yeah.
Like the turquoise skin, top to bottom, was definitely not the sweet spot. But this is really cool.
Looks good.
Feels good.
Thank
sparkly,
you so much, Pon
sparkly.
Pon. One day you'll do your job properly, and I'll speak to you about that a little bit later on in a moment.
Why
But
do you gotta keep making Pon?
I'm sure
Pon
Pon
your
missed
whipping
you
boy?
most of all.
listen. Pon Pon's
man.
job is to make sure those are ready, and he says they are ready. Did he tell you they were ready?
He told me he knew that he had them all purchased.
So, which means he's not tested them. Which means he's not done his job, boys and
I'm
girls
sure
at home.
QA is
If you
running
don't do
around
your job, should
yelling
you
at
get
each other
fired?
right now?
Vote at home.
Oh,
Should Pon Pon be fired? Right now, I'm making the executive decision here on the patch notes.
Executive
So
order,
maybe
if
not
you
fired
will.
from the company, but maybe just fired
Hey,
from patch notes.
he's on my team now, design team. He's not getting fired.
Okay.
I don't know if we like that policy.
Executive decisions ahead of me. But it's time for these guys to disappear for a minute as I head over to our community ladies who are standing by to have a quick word with me as well. Hara's Savvy and Hara's Amanda. You ladies there?
Hi, how are you?
Not too bad. How are you girls?
Good.
Good, very
I
good.
just want to interrupt right away and just say that a bunch of the skins this patch are going to be directly purchasable, which is really exciting.
All right, wait till I get there. Wait till I get there. You just rushed that
okay.
one straight
And
out.
I'm so excited. It's like,
It's
awesome.
good news.
Yeah, so
No, it is good news.
Medusa, the Camaotz one, as well as the Jing are all going to be directly purchasable. Oh no, Camaotz isn't a chest. Medusa, Kuzenbo,
Yes.
I always mess up Kuzenbo and Camaotz, and the Jing. So those are all directly purchasable.
Okay, Medusa and Kuzenbo both. That's
Yep.
Medusa's
Yeah, she's
direct.
awesome. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, now serious business. You all came over with a smile and you tried to throw me up, but that's not going to happen here. Savvy, you're smiling too much. Listen, girl, listen. What's going on with the season ticket right now? Because there's been issues, and I can't get my votes in.
Look, don't take your anger from Pon Pon out on me.
I will.
I'll tell
I
you what's
will.
up, though. I'll tell you what's up. So over the past day or so, players were unable to vote on a couple of matches on all platforms. So we fixed the problem, and in compensation, anyone who has purchased the summer spring split.
Spring?
No, summer
Say that-
split pass.
I can't speak today. Say that 10 times fast. Anybody who has the summer split pass is getting 250 fantasy points. And additionally, if console players are still seeing a black screen when they load up their season ticket, just reinstall SMITE. I know that's annoying to do, but it'll fix that problem permanently.
Yeah, it's a small group of people that are having that issue.
Okay, so they have the issue, reinstall SMITE, and that should fix it. But everybody who has had the issues will receive, how much was it?
250 fantasy points.
That better be right.
It's right.
I'll speak to you again. You know I will.
I'll be here. I'll be here.
Amanda, I heard there's some promotions going on this weekend, though. What do the guys at home need to know about what things we've got going on?
Well, we've got the biggest event this weekend is every day you win your first 3 wins of the day, and you will unlock a chest. So Friday and Sunday is going to be the Enigma chest, and then Saturday is the Cutesy Avatar chest, which has a new avatar.
Which
It
one?
does.
Which one?
It's got
not heard
Cutesy
of
Scylla,
Yep.
right? Yeah, Cutesy Scylla. Last
My
patch, you
girl.
weren't here.
She was already cute. What do you mean? Why did you keep
Well, now
rubbing it in
she's
about
10
me not
times
being here for a
cuter, and you
patch?
can get her for free. Roll that chest.
Yeah.
So they're all available this weekend?
Yep.
Just for the weekend, or is it for a few days after, or all around there?
It's just Friday, Saturday,
Just
Sunday.
Friday, Saturday.
Cool. Okay, make sure you follow these ladies on Twitter as well, because if you do so, they'll give you more up-to-date information than me. And you can rage with them directly instead of having to wait for me to do it on patch notes.
Fair enough.
Bring it on.
Specifically for Savvy as well. Savvy, Amanda, thank you so much for your time. Take it easy, and we'll see you on the battlegrounds. Peace. Back to the desk we are, and finally I've got Palm next to me.
Yep.
What went wrong?
So game dev's hard, and somehow I think all the skins just don't have their actual skin voice pack anymore,
Okay.
which is kind of neat. I don't know how that breaks, but it broke. That's my running theory. I'm going to stick to it.
We need to talk about testing, though, don't we?
It could also just be that you
Should
were
talk about
gone for
testing.
a long time, and so I just got lax and
Yeah.
my
Big
polish,
Lex.
so.
Let's get on with the beef of the
Oh, wow.
show, though, which is the patch note section. You all like waiting for it. Not really. You want it as quick as possible, so we'll get onto it. First thing to mention, players can no longer vote to unpause during a ranked pause until 3 seconds have passed.
Yeah, when that person disconnects and everyone starts spamming the pause and they immediately unpause, you have to wait 3 seconds now.
The dream. Now, I do understand, just to explain at home, I think one of the reasons with the pause thing there is the reason we can't actually just give it another key binding is because it also is a bit of an issue of finding the right keys to use, correct?
Yeah,
and for box and things like that, and for console players, it's very difficult to find enough buttons for them to be able to press to, you know, vote
Yeah,
differently.
especially on console, it's kind of hard to just add a new keybind because that not only limits what you can do in the future, but it also is like just hard to do in general. So this solution essentially fixes the problem in the easiest way possible. People won't just be spamming it anymore and immediately unpause.
Awesome. On top of that as well, we've also fixed an issue on the standings tab in the season ticket where overall records for teams during an event would be listed as 0-0. Awesome.
Season ticket fix.
Just season ticket fix along with what the ladies were saying a little bit earlier from the community. And we'll move on to the bug fix section, my new favorite section. I'm
this
so glad
one's
this stayed.
actually... This one I purposely made small for you. I could have listed out all the things we fixed.
Oh, did you?
But I purposely kept it small.
Bless. I mean, I could have sped read through it instead.
I mean, it would have been the same thing over and over again.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I like that.
And as much as that's fun to just kind of laugh and watch
I
you
still
do
got
it.
tweets about that, you know?
Yeah.
Never joking. So the bug selection fixes are started binding, fixed many banishes and slows, not causing the passive to be applied. And on top of that, the Runeforged Hammer fixed many slows, not causing the passive to be applied.
There you go. You would have had to read that probably like, I think roughly like 20 or 30 times.
I'm used to it. I basically say the Titan has fallen, the team has won, like how many times a week? Like,
yeah.
So it's the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's not too much
You're
of
used
an
to
issue.
it.
Yeah. Or it's like, Raph is dead again. What a surprise, you know? Don't know why I chose Rafa.
I actually trolled Raffer not too long ago.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, he
What'd you
had an inappropriate clan name, so I made it more
Oh, I
appropriate.
heard about that. Yeah, I did. Not for air, though. Other bug fixes for gods this time. Just a quick one for Ganesha, the Dharmic Pillars, the ultimate. Fixed Ganesha's ultimate not highlighting enemies near the corners of the ultimate collision.
Yeah, the pillars that are around there, they were just interfering with what was detected as a hit or not. So
Gotcha.
it's fixed.
So a little quick fix there, and now we're on to the major juice of the patch.
Yep.
Which we're going to start off with gameplay and balance changes, which we were all expecting to talk about here today, so we'll get straight onto it and go through what's going on. I'll break it down, first of all, what's happening, and Pon's going to explain it in further detail, just so you know. The player experience levels, we are going to be decreasing the amount of experience needed to go from level 1 to level 2. It's going to go from 308 experience to 225, if you really want the math. And then at level 2 to 3, the experience is going to increase. So it's going to be 363 to 430, and then experience to go from level 3 to level 4 is 418 to 434. Pom-Pom, explain to me exactly why we're doing this change.
So we talked about this last week, and similar reasons. These are the exact same numbers from last week. It's to make it so that the first wave, whether you're soloing it or you're splitting it, is going to hit you level 2.
Okay.
And then level 2 and level 3 being adjusted are there to make sure that by the time you hit level 4, you're back to the normal experience curve. And we're doing this because people who had map knowledge were able to kind of abuse the situation where they could push really, really hard, go take the minis, and then make it really, really difficult for a team to fight back. And what we saw number-wise is actually didn't increase. This didn't cause Snowball to increase necessarily. We actually saw games go longer on average. It caused a frustration factor of people feeling like they were helpless for a longer period of time.
Okay.
And so this is directly to make it so that people are more even level more quickly. And in general, people being more even level limits the options the ME team can do to get ahead, especially super early on. So we expect this to slow down the snowball of the early game.
There's been a lot of talk on Twitter and around the scene of people coming up with other suggestions that could have been different to this one. One specifically I can think of is like reducing the amount of experience you get from the babies around the blue buff and the red buff and such. Why did we not go for that route? Why was that not a possibility?
Well, I think before we get to that, we want to harp a little bit more on why we made this particular change and some of the feedback we got from it.
Sure.
One was that, well, this could just become a kill lane, right? You could just be super aggressive, hit level 2 first, and then engage in the other team. But players can play around it, right? They can be like, okay, they have stronger push. We're going to go back a little bit.
Play safe.
We're going to play a little bit safe. We know that we'll hit level 2 anyway. If they want to go and take our minis, because they're not getting a level lead immediately, that's actually kind of more okay than it was before. Plus, we can also follow them into the jungle and we'll actually be level 2 to fight them versus being level 1. So that's one of the reasons, like, we want to make sure this gets tested, and we see that as a possibility that could occur. Right. We want to see how that actually performs in a live environment. This change is kind of the, well, because that could happen, maybe try this instead.
Okay.
And reducing mini experience is a very scary change because it's going to reduce, you had to reduce every camp by about 15 experience. It's 40 total, so you have to go back to 25 or 24, which is, so 16 experience off those, times 2 for each camp, times 4 for each side, times 2 again for all the map, and that's a whole bunch of map experience lost that will occur over the entire course of the game as they keep respawning.
Okay.
So a focus change at level 2 we'll be able to look at that very clearly and be like, here's what's the change that's caused by people hitting level 2 quicker. By changing the map experience total for the jungle, it's going to be much more difficult to tell. And we didn't want to just add that to the big camps because that now incentivizes a different style of play where people are really focused on hyper invading and being really aggressive at controlling it, and that could potentially snowball it worse than we've seen. And plus, that'll also have an impact over the course of the entire game. So rather than doing that first, we're going to focus on this specific aspect, the specific problem, and a potential fix for it.
There was some other change that people put forward too, like lane minions meeting earlier could actually help as well instead. What's the issue with that?
So middle meets about, what, 25 seconds. Solo, I think, is like 27, and duo is like 28, 29. It's about right. And that kind of disparity causes the jungler to have to start in mid because they want to be there with the minion wave first. It kind of limits some options. It makes also like rotating a little bit weird off the first wave. We actually want to fix this, but this is something that is going to require a little bit more time to fix and testing to make sure we don't break core systems. So that's something we're going to look towards mid-season. We're going to internally test that, see if we can find a good fix, and if we do, we'll probably implement that.
So something we are looking at doing if we can make that happen, but it's just all about whether or not we can find the right time to do it, and it works effectively and doesn't break the game.
Yes, it'll probably be around mid-season. Also, if these changes don't work, we have the ability to pull these back really quickly. We can also look at mid-season to do other changes based off the data we get from this. So this is kind of our first step in addressing the problem, and then we're going to really watch it closely and make steps towards mid-season and at mid-season to address it further.
There's no doubt in the Experience Festival. Not just that, though, in terms of balance, we do have a few other things that are going to be going on. The Gold Fury adjustments. We've increased the base health from 2,250 to 2,550, as well as we've decreased the base gold worth of this from 190 to 150. So it's gone up in health and down in gold.
Yes, so this is also paired with the Portal Demon change that we'll talk about in a little bit. But we were also seeing teams in the early game, especially around like the 8 to 10 minute mark, they'd win one fight because they had an advantage in the early game. And off that one fight, they could take a Gold Fury because it was low health and very easy to kill. And then they could also take a Portal Demon, which would give them even more. And that was something we actually saw contribute to Snowball a little bit more. It was the indirect consequence of the early game being a little bit this thing that you could kind of like push forward your level. Then you push forward your level, you get one advantageous fight, and then you get Gold Fury and Portal Demon. So we're making Gold Fury a little bit harder to kill and worth a little bit less. By the time late game comes around, it'll be worth actually a little bit more, but early and mid game will be worth less. And Portal Demon is also seeing adjustment downwards in terms of the gold worth.
And that's what I get to now. Portal Demon's down from 150 gold to 100 gold now. So overall, it's a 40 gold decrease on the gold of the Gold Fury at base, and the decrease in the gold from the Portal Demon means it's a 50. So overall, the Portal Demon's going to be worth less than a Gold Fury anyway.
We're really trying to highlight that Portal Demon, the Gold Fury is the advantage you want if you want to get golden experience for your team.
Sure.
Portal Demon can give you that in the case where you can't get Gold Demon or Gold Fury because it's down or you're in a dangerous spot. But it gives a huge tactical advantage. We want to make sure that tactical advantage is the one that's highlighted, not necessarily the gold gain or the experience.
Okay, well that's adjustments to the game balance, but nice to move on to the item balance itself.
Also, fun note. No, fun note.
You're gonna be scared then.
No, yeah, we're fine. We have Spectator on PTS. That's been sometimes bugged when we have PTS out. So players and coaches will be able to spectate games and get really prepared, especially for the upcoming SPL.
Yeah, because this patch is going to hit just before SPL.
So people will actually be able to play on that, spectate it, really watch the replays, really dive deep into this. So
and get some real good feedback on this experience changes and see if anything goes through or anything gets pulled back. We'll find out. But it's time to move on to item balance now. First up, top of the shop is going to be Mark of the Vanguard. This is going to get a reduction to its passive. The flat damage reduction that used to be 5 is going to go down to 4, so it's just 1 off the top.
Yeah, it's 1 off the top, which over the course
adds up.
Yeah, over the course of an entire game, especially the early laning phase, the amount of minion damage you're taking and the amount of poke you're taking in the other laner, this will amount up to being a little bit less effective.
Okay.
We've just seen people pick this up, mostly ignore trades, just kind of like brawl in the lane and be like, I don't care, I have Death Toll and Mark the Vanguard, I'm just going to heal up forever. We're also looking at Death Toll as separately, but that's a little bit more complicated.
Okay.
But Mark the Vanguard is kind of our first step towards looking at that kind of like unkillability and like you can't get poked back because you have so much defense.
Gotcha. Next up on the list is Chronos Pendant, and is that right?
Yeah, Chronos Pendant.
Go on.
Yeah, dude. It's a fun item. Pushing past
It's going up 20 power?
Yeah.
It's 80 power?
I mean...
And cooldown reduction?
It's this item that we were kind of afraid of when we first made it, right? It was the idea that you're boosting yourself past the CDR cap. It's a luxury item, clearly, because of that and its cost. And so we were kind of reserved in the power that it gave. As the seasons have developed, it's really not fallen into anyone's build. People aren't really picking up because it's just kind of too slow to pick up. We're increasing the power a little bit and see where it falls after that.
Spicy.
Yeah, mage build's getting a little bit of a shake-up.
Yeah, I can tell. Next up on the list, though, is Emerald Mail. We've increased the health of this from 200 to 250.
This was actually some direct feedback that we got in that building into these items, like the Shield of Regrowth or the Gauntlet of Thieves, was a bit difficult because the Tier 2 didn't feel as effective.
Okay.
It was only 100 extra health for 600 gold, which that's a lot of investment to make for not a lot of defenses.
I agree.
And so it's going up a little bit. We do have a small nerf for an item that's built off that tree, but this will make the overall tree a little bit easier to build into.
And that item that's getting nerfed is Gauntlet of Thieves, I believe.
Yes.
Gauntlet of Thieves is going to get a bit of a nerf this patch, and it's just going to be on the reduced health from 400 to 350, so just a touch off the top.
Yeah, it's a weird aura item, right? Because it gives all protections.
Yep.
And it gives a lot of health.
Yep.
And so all protections plus a whole bunch of health makes it this really good total effective health item that makes you really tanky.
It reminds me of old school Sovereignty.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like real old school Sovereignty, yeah.
And so Sovereignty, because it's physical only, right? You can deal with it with magical damage. Heartward Amulet, you can deal with physical damage.
Sure.
And because like they're 2 items, you have to invest 2 goals to get all that protections, where this one gives you only 1. So we're reducing its health a little bit so people aren't so tanky in the early phase. If they really need a counter physical or counter magical, they should be going for the other auras first.
Okay, well, we'll see how that one plays out for Gauntlet of Thieves and the Emerald Mail as well. Next up is Stone of Foul with a cost reduction. It was 2,900 gold. It's going to come down 200 to 2,700.
We've seen this with a few other really situational items. This is very much anti-burst, where it's expensive because it's really good at the thing it stops, but if it's too expensive, it's not good enough in enough situations. And so we're bringing the cost down so that when you build into this, you're not so behind on kind of your power curve.
Okay, it's a bit more cost efficient for what you're going to get from this one. 1,000-fold Blade up next, which is increased physical power from 15 to 20. This is similar to Emerald Mail?
Yeah, similar. It's essentially the upgrade was very little movement speed and power for a lot of gold. We're making it a little bit easier to build into the Catan tree as a whole.
So it makes it more worthwhile.
Yeah.
We'll see how that one works out too. As well as the final item to be balanced this patch is Shifter's Shield.
This one's fun. I like this one.
Okay, let me read through it, because I'm scared. Because I've not had a chance to see the patch notes. I just saw Chronos Pendant. I'm like, mind blown. And
yeah, Shifters is great.
So Shifter's Shield, reduced power from 40 to 35, increased passive bonus physical power from 20 to 35, reduced physical protection from 20 to 15, reduced magical protection from 20 to 15, and increased passive bonus protections from 20 to 35. Is this a buff or a nerf?
This is a buff. So it basically has 2 forms, right? It has its power form, which has 60 power and 20 protections, and then it had its defensive form, where it had 40 power and I think 40 protections. And so essentially what we're doing now is making it the power form way more powerful. It's 70 power with only 15 protections. So it's more offensive, a little bit less defensive. And then when it shifts, it's way more defensive and a little bit less powerful.
Like its name suggests,
yeah,
right?
essentially, right? We're just highlighting the fact that this is the situation, like, when you're high health, you want to engage with all your power. You get 70 power, which is a very high power item. When you're low, you want to survive. So because it's an item that shifts into the right situation for the right thing that you need at the time, this is overall a buff.
Better well since we've seen Shift to Shield really in the meta, so we'll see if it does
it also,
come back as strong.
It was kind of competing a little bit with Masamune.
I agree, yeah.
Because Masamune is like a little bit of health and defenses and power. This one's much more the, I don't really care about the health and the movement speed. I'd much rather have the raw power or the raw protections.
I want to go aggressive, but when I'm in trouble, I want to run for my life and hope I'll live.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much the style. And that's it for the item balance. It's time to move on to the god balance section. Ooh,
we're there.
Are we in alphabetical order today?
Oh, jeez.
Of course we're not. It's Pom-Pom.
I mean,
we don't prep anything for our shows.
I know that's a whole bunch of. There's 2 C's, there's an E, there's a G. That's alphabetical so far.
Yeah.
That looks alphabetical to me.
Yeah.
I don't think I've gotten this wrong in a while. We just like to poke fun at it.
I was actually trying to throw. I was trying to throw you off there and see you got it wrong. That was honest.
Voice packs were the only thing I haven't.
Well, it's about time.
I've learned the alphabet.
It's about time. Listen, it's about time. Kurnanos. He's getting nerfed. It's about time. Why did it take so long? First of all.
We want to see how he performs, right?
We all saw how he performed.
Well, like, the difference between, like, how people play him, whether he's popular or whether he's just, like, just counter picks that are available to him. We saw him move around a little bit. We just wanted to give him a little bit of breathing time so that he could actually play before he got significant nerfs.
Breathing time. Shifter of season, first of all. We're going to decrease the physical power scaling of this from 20%. Why the hell was it 20%? Down to 10%.
Yep.
And not only that, the Bramble Blast has had an increase in its cooldown from 13 to 15 seconds as well. Now, I understand, like, we touched him once or twice here or there and left it a little bit. Obviously, we don't want to keep hitting the same abilities time and time again, so we're just trying to find the edges on things to really bring down here. Is that what it feels like?
Yeah, most of it was the amount of damage he just pumped down a game compared to other hunters was significantly higher. Because he had Bramble Blast on a low cooldown, it was really easy to confirm.
Sure.
That constituted a lot of damage over the course of the game. Similarly, Summer, every time you autoed, you had essentially 20% extra scaling on your autos. That contributed a lot. And so we're just toning down that kind of top-end damage. When he's sitting in Summer form, it's going to be a little bit less effective. He has to actually shift into the other seasons to actually get the full benefit still.
Yeah.
Like, like a lot of people would just sit in Summer, it's fine, and maybe go to Winter. Now you're more incentivized to actually go for the pen so that you can get the more damage, and then go to Summer. It raises the skill cap a little bit to be doing more effective damage. And Bramble Blast is on a longer cooldown, which does 2 things. It lowers his damage throughout the whole game because he's casting it less. It's lowering his clear the whole game because he's casting it less. And it also is removing some of his survivability and ability to engage because he no longer is rooting as often.
Okay. More nerfs to Kurnanos. We'll see what you guys think at home, I'm sure. But next up is Chang'e, and Chang'e's going to get a nerf as well.
Yeah, she has been kind of long-standing trying to get into Conquest, and this season specifically, she really showed up. And so now she's had about, I don't know, 9 patches of being pretty good.
Pretty permabanned.
Yeah, pretty good in Conquest. We're looking to adjust her a little bit more. We didn't target specifically damage things because that helps her stay in the Conquest map. We targeted a few things that are a little bit frustrating to fight around or a little bit more too efficient for her. Okay, so it's Moonlit Waltz, first of all, that's going to get changed. And that's going to have the cooldown, increased cooldowns, I should say, from 20 to 12 is now going to be 20 to 14. There's a couple of 0.5s in there on the levels as well for that scaling factor for you guys at home who are really detailed on the numbers. And not only that, the Moonflower Dance, we've actually increased the cooldown of that from 10 to 12 seconds as well. It's a big jump there. Yeah, she's healing a bit less. She's also immuning damage a bit less. So that she's a little bit, she has more opportunity to be caught out, countered if she's in a bad position. Again, we didn't want to really hit her damage or the kind of utility that her ult provides. So that's really what keeps her in Conquest. But these things were a little bit frustrating to fight against, so we're toning them down. Okay, next on the list is Erlang Shen, and Erlang's going to get a bit of love this patch, it seems. We're going to look at towards his base stats. That seems to be like the run of show here. A couple of warriors getting a bit of love, right? Yeah, we did this a little bit in the past, right? With Osiris, he got a bit of love. Sun Wukong got a little bit of love. We have a few this patch. We're just kind of looking at warriors as a whole and seeing kind of which ones need a little bit of love to do well in the solo lane or maybe even in the jungle. Okay, so Erlang Shen's base stats are going to go up from 38 to 39 in base power, and not only that, his attack speed will go up from 0.8 to 1 as well. So that 1 is actually pretty big. Yeah, we're just highlighting the fact that he's this in-hand warrior, right? Like, and he had a lot of utility before. He was kind of mixed in his roles. As we've trimmed down some of his crowd control, really his ability to deal damage kind of fell off as well. And so now we're just highlighting that ability to deal damage. Next on the list is Guan Yu. Guan Yu's going to have a look at his Warrior's Will. We're going to increase the physical power scaling from 50% to 60%, so a 10% increase. And not only that, the Tallow Assault increased duration of protection steal from 3 seconds to scaling from 3 seconds all the way up to 5 seconds now. That's a pretty decent buff, that one. Yeah, Warrior's Will is going to do a bit more damage, but I think the big one here is the Tallow Assault change, right? That's one. You're going to have more protections for longer, and you're going to have shredded the target for longer, which means you have longer opportunity for your teammates to take advantage of the fact that you shredded. You're going to be a little bit tankier for longer. You can stay in. You might see him actually successfully jungle these changes.
DJ Pernicus may return to Eager here. Sorry, Sam. Sorry, buddy.
I had to throw
Blame
that
Pom
one.
My bad,
that was
Sam.
my fault.
You just got a team too, and now DJ's gonna be back. Hades! Hades? How's Hades doing?
Very good.
Too good?
Very good. He's been very high on the stats overall in like a lot of regards. Even when you factor in like the super high ELO rank or MMR games, he is doing pretty well. In casuals, he's doing very well. And so we're looking to tone down some of his ability to escape, ability to survive. We're not toning down his damage because that's one of the big things we gave back to him, so that he could be kind of this burst mage. And we like that his new playstyle is adapted to that, but he was living too long, he was escaping too often. And because we're toning those things down, we're giving him a little bit more utility with his silence.
So Death from Below will go from 12 seconds to 14 seconds now. Shroud of Darkness, decrease the cooldown on this. It used to be 15 to 11, it's now 14 to 10. And Devour Souls, decrease power scaling on the Detonate heal from 15% to 10% as well.
Yep, so he won't be able to engage or disengage as often with Death from Below. He'll be able to silence more often, which is kind of this cool utility thing. So we're kind of highlighting that ability that he has. And then he'll be healing for less, so he won't be healing to full health, especially in the late game, as much.
And the next up on the warrior list is Odin now. Odin's going to get a bit of a change too. This is on Gunge's Might, which is the 3. Increased base damage from 35 to 95. He's going to actually go up to 45 to 125. That's a bit of a nice change, that. And Gunge's Might second swing will now also slow. I never knew that.
Yeah, only the first swing did.
I thought they both slowed.
Nope, only the first one did. The second one had to be added.
I won't believe that. Okay.
Yeah, big thing is Gungnir's might actually exist as an ability now. You don't just max sleep and bird bomb and then put
Don't even care about the 3.
Yeah, it actually will deal damage pretty significantly now.
That 1 point winner. And finally on the balance section is Susano. Susano.
Yeah, he has a nerf here.
Susano, yes.
He's a bit good.
I hate him. I'm not joking. Like, there's only one gun in the game that I hate. Actually, no, I hate Bakasura too because he's not fun to play against.
Wow, I can't be friends with you.
But he's not fun to play against. He's great fun to play as, and everyone enjoys playing him. But he's not fun to play against.
Yeah, overall, his stats are only really good at the super high end as people make use of him.
Okay.
But we understand he's fairly frustrating. We've had this mentioning with him before. We're toning down specifically frustration on the Typhoon, right? The Typhoon, once you're caught in it, you're basically stuck in it, and you sit there and wait until he fully charges it, and he detonates it and ults you. And if you're gonna escape because you're on like the extra edge range, he's going to just use it really quickly. He's gonna let charge up enough to knock back. We've reduced the pull strength of the Typhoon, and we've also reduced how much it slowed you while you were in it. So now players who are caught in it will be pulled in a little bit, but they will have a lot more chance to escape. So if he gets a whole bunch of people in, he either needs to fire it immediately to get the damage out, or people are going to have time to spread out and start splitting up so that he has to choose what direction he wants to go in. So a little bit more counterplay to the Typhoon.
Cool. The good news is it's already on the screen, so I don't have to read this one. Where can we just do this anyway, right? Like,
the numbers are kind of invisible rules that like determine his strength, so like there's not really good context for them. But essentially what it means is, I'm a character, I'm caught in it, I'm going to be able to run out effectively now.
Biggest change that you think is important here, other than the experience? I think that's the clear biggest one that's going to be talked about, but what's the other ones?
Geez, I actually think the Guan Yu one has a lot of potential. He's often kind of built this... He's kind of built this like weird way of cooldown reduction and damage. Having protections for longer really highlights other items that can increase his like health at all. So like Shield of Regrowth is going to be way better now because he has protections for longer, which helps him stay alive longer. But I think Guan Yu has really good potential now to come out and be really strong.
Well, we'll see how Guan Yu does in the next patch. Obviously, this patch is due out next Tuesday, but it's not all over just yet, so don't worry. We're still got a god to reveal.
Yeah.
You got the voice pack?
Well, if it's the base god, it's the bug I think it is, then yes.
Well, we'll find out after this quick moment. Let's take a little look as Pompon gets himself back to checking out this new god. Darji, I believe the name is the Nine-Tailed Fox.
These gods will soon feel the most excruciating pain.
There's a little look at Darji early on, and joining us once again is Chuck Fishman and AJ to bring it down and break down the new god that's coming out. First of
Goddess.
all, God, Goddess, Tomorrow. They're all the same thing. Yeah, AJ's mic's off. That's good. I like that. We don't have to hear him anymore.
Male for Male.
I'm sorry, I forgive you because I know AJ's got a lot to talk about with this one as well.
Yes, testing. Oh,
there we go. We're back.
I was gonna say I'll let my shirt speak for me. It's pretty loud.
So first things first, I guess we should start off with Dodgy and then tell Fox. I'm gonna come to you first, AJ. Tell me a little bit about what is her lore and why is she going to be joining the Battlegrounds?
So Dodgy's lore is super fun or super horrific, depending on what type of person you are.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun.
But it's really interesting. So essentially the story of Dodgy is there's an emperor in ancient China, and he visited a temple to Nuwa, and he was like, wow, Nuwa is an amazing goddess. I love this goddess. I want to express my love for her. And he did that in a poor choice of ways to do it. He scribbled a love note that was maybe not very respectful on the walls of her temple. So
he graffitied on the walls, is what you're telling me.
Yeah,
okay.
and it was like a girl. It wasn't like romantic poetry.
Oh, right.
So Nuwa gets really upset at this and is like, I'm going to send someone to take this emperor down.
Okay.
So she finds an ancient immortal fox spirit that is just pure evil. That is just the embodiment of kind of torture and seduction.
Okay.
And sends it down to possess a human female.
Right.
So then Jin tells her to get the emperor to fall in love with you and bring his empire down. So Dodgy, that's where Dodgy comes. She gets merged in with the fox spirit. The emperor, while they're pillaging and rampaging through the country, conquering things, they find Dodgy and he takes her into his personal set of girlfriends. And quickly,
personal set of girlfriends. I like that.
I'm doing this is a dark lore, so I'm trying my best. Keep it PG-13.
My set of girlfriends.
Right. So, yeah, that one's bad.
Yeah.
There's some bad ones all over the place, but we do our best.
Yeah.
Anyway, so now Dodgy is with the Emperor. Quickly, the Emperor starts focusing only on Dodgy, and he will do whatever she wants, and he's doing this crazy parties and spending all of his resources, and at the same time that he's doing this, she's also being absolutely horrible to the people of the kingdom, and she just likes to torture them and punish them for crimes in way more harsh ways than they need to be, even to the point where she just did to hurt people just for fun or just for her own learning's sake. She would just do this, and as this kept going, she kind of lost sight of her task from Nuwa, and she was like, whatever, I'm not gonna whatever, I'm just gonna do whatever I want and just have fun with it, and just go completely rogue. Right, completely rogue. And this just continues on, and she eventually creates her own signature type of torture device, which we'll get to in the kit. It's featured in the kit, but it's pretty dark.
Okay.
And eventually, this causes the whole empire to crumble, and there's a huge war breaks out, and the entire empire is destroyed.
Okay.
But Dodgy, the immortal fox spirit, lives on.
Mission accomplished.
Crib notes from what I caught of that: she's a harlot who will get you in a lot of trouble and seduce you and then murder you.
She's just in your
My
set
type
of
of
girlfriends.
woman. My type of woman. I like it.
Let's not talk
She's dangerous.
So, Chuck, obviously you're the art director, designer.
Yes,
art
so
director. What's the big plan with this? Obviously, we've seen some of the artwork. What was the big focal points then, knowing what we knew about Ari?
All right. Well, so there was 3 focal points, right? She's a seductress. She's an evil torturer. And she has 9 tails. That's a lot of tails.
Yeah.
We had a lot of arguments about that.
And I was like, we have to have the 9 tails.
And I was like, can't we go with 4? Because this is a lot of animation work. Where are we going to put all these tails? How are we going to do it? It was not the easiest thing.
Did we get 9 though?
Yeah, we did. We did.
All right, I was just making sure because we were going to argue on air then, Chuck. If it was only 4,
they asked for 9.
No
we give them 9.
Independently animated, it was a lot of work for our team. Really, it was.
Well, the question was, were we going to have 9 all the time,
or
just sometimes, right?
Yeah.
So
when she killed someone, she'd fan them out or something. But the 9 permanently.
Yes.
Yes.
That's awesome.
They're always there,
Every
flowing.
animation.
So the trick was, we were when we have a goddess where the sexy seductress thing is actually heavily focused in the lore, right? We heavily focused the character around that, but then we had all these tails getting in the way, So we had to do
in the way if you're not fairy. That's the only issue, right? It'd be fine if they were.
Who isn't?
Yeah. Man, if you're into that, then there's a lot of
she looks good
there.
Yes.
So, and then we did some interesting thing too. We were a little bit worried about the claws kind of keeping her from being feminine, so we made the claws retractable where she can disappear them and reappear them at will.
Also, we were really happy
to
use a new kind of type of weapon. We maybe have something a little similar in some places, but anytime we can use, Kernanos glaive and this kind of new, actually individual finger blades was really nice, as opposed to just daggers or swords or something.
Which gives a very surgical feel. to her.
Which is referenced in the lore specifically. She liked to cut people open and specifically dissect them to learn from them. So she's got a very precise kind of cutting feel.
Well, now that we've got on the screen, let's start going through her kit finally, because that took a long time to go through lore, but it's good lore, so we should find out.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. You get excited, you get into it. It's fine. I get it. The passive, first of all, let's go through that, AJ. I think that will come to you for that one. So what exactly is her passive going to do?
Her passive is Torture Blades.
She's an assassin, first of all. Like,
yes,
I know we passed over that, but it's pretty freaking clear. If she's a murder, aggressive, evil woman, assassin.
Right. So that's true. I mean, as far as, Chuck in this process early, we were talking about, how foxy to make her and how evil and stuff, and we had landed on, it made a lot of sense for her to be very, physical, pain-inflicting, so not magical, and since she's kind of a human possessed, it's very much mostly human with just the foxtails, which is her key, distinct visual element. So then we have Torture Blades. This is, something that just logically fit into the kit, both visually and through design, which is Daji's basic attacks apply a bleed to the target, which ticks twice.
Look at those effects, too.
Have a base component and a scaling component, and it can actually stack. So it's only 2 seconds, but as many attacks as you can get in that 2 seconds, you can have all of those bleeds happening at once.
So they will continue to stack up. So if you
infinitely.
So if I got attack speed with this and like spammed away, I'd get more stacks of this and then continue to go.
Yes, so she does, through this passive, scales a bit off attack speed.
Right, interesting, interesting. All right, well, we'll see how this combines with the rest of the kit then, because already bleeds are the first warning sign, I guess, here. As we look at first ability, Horrible Burns. Oh my god, she goes everywhere with a murder. Horrible Burns. Is it called Horrible Burns?
Yes,
it is.
What a
she
great
likes
name.
burning people, too.
This is not a person you want in your set of girlfriends.
I don't know, I feel like about heat in the bedroom sometimes. Horrible Burns, what is it?
So again, this is another torture device themed ability. It's going to stem her next in hand. It's also going to reset her basic attack chain. It's going to apply a burst of damage immediately. And it's also going to apply ticks of damage, 3 ticks over 3 seconds.
Okay.
And you can see that, if you're basic attacking, it will tick on top of the bleed that you're getting.
Oh, so it stacks with it because of bleed and a burn, but they don't refresh each other or anything like that.
No,
right?
no.
So the
I just had a second move like, they all refresh each other.
No, they're two independent.
Every basic attack is going to bleed independently, and that will stack. And the cooldown is just long enough that even with max CDR, you're only going to ever be able to apply 1 stack of it at a time.
Okay, I like that. I like that ability quite well. Next up then is AJ. What's this one? 1,000 cuts.
Yes.
Herp derp. I wonder what's going to happen here.
Yeah, so this is a real key ability to Daji, and probably the one you're going to want to level up first. This ability does a lot of things.
Okay.
So basically, it's a channeled cone. So while she goes into a 2-second animation, where she attacks 4 times, dealing damage to all enemies in front of her, and applying the bleed to Torture Blades on all 4 hits. So you get 4 hits and applying Torture Blades. It also is going to cleanse her of slows and make her move faster. This is where she's really, this is her agility kind of
sort of feel to it.
And kind of a floaty, foxy, spirit form, which is what kind of her mobility. This is kind of like a pseudo mobility ability. It actually so cleanses, slows, and speeds her up when she's firing it. Okay. And it has one more component, which is while she's channeling it, all enemies who are behind her deal less damage to her.
Oh, really?
So it depends on where the god is actually standing.
It doesn't have the tails of protecting us.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So it's kind of like it doesn't matter what type of if you're shooting or throwing whatever, projectiles, deployables, whatever, if your god is actually positioned behind Daji, you take reduced damage. So you saw there it was 70 reduced down to 40.
That's right.
They said it's a cleanse on a slow. It's not permanent.
It's
slow immunity.
It's slow
it's
just during the.
Oh, is it slow immune as well? Not
during
just
the channel.
I just want to clear that one up as well.
Cleanse and immune during the channel. Gotcha. As well as a speed buff.
Okay.
Damage and mitigation.
Okay.
The 2 semicircle targeter also came out really well. It kind of looks evocative of like a fan almost. Very cool.
Yeah, I'm really, really happy with how that visually this ability came out. It's super fun to use. The audio and the hitting feels really good. There's good feedback there. This is one that took a while to come together. It was a bit of a risky one, but I'm really happy with how it turned out.
I've been off one patch note showing it's going to hell because I don't know.
Did you lose the second page?
I don't know who's on the second page. I don't know what the names of the abilities are. So let's go with it. Can I name the ability now because I don't know what it is?
If you name it Trickster Spirit, you can name it right now.
Spoiler.
How about you tell me about the third ability there, then, Fishman? What about Trickster Spirit?
Yeah, so this actually is a leap. But what this is going to do is it's going to allow you to choose a target. If you don't have a target, then you cannot teleport. But you're gonna pick a friend or an ally. You're gonna jump to them.
A friend or an enemy.
Yes, because your allies or normally your friends.
No. They're
Nine
not.
times
They're
out of 10.
They're not. Trust me.
Depends on
not in the game of Smite. No.
That's right.
Everyone's your enemy.
But and if it's an enemy, you're gonna do damage when you arrive there.
Okay.
It has a setup time, and which means she can be interrupted while she's charging it. Doing that little bit of effects and audio, if you can figure out that she's going, you can knock her out of it. That will not consume her cooldown or her mana.
What happens if I leap into a tower while she's warming it up?
Yeah.
There's a lot of counterplay with this ability.
Is there
So if you are currently still in the air and don't have an actual position on the ground, she'll go to where you were. So you can just dodge it like that.
Gotcha.
If you use like a dash, especially like a quick Agni dash, you can turn and dash into your own tower, and she will teleport to you in the tower and be in bad shape.
That's kind of cool. Now,
and
it
you can
looks like
even
it applies
do
a dot as well, right? It applies a passive on landing, it looked like to me? Or
yeah,
is that
so all
wrong?
of her 1, 2, and 3 apply the
okay, I
passive
wasn't
torture
sure.
blades as well.
Cool.
So this is an AoE ability too, actually. Hits all enemies in range, but it's relatively low damage, long warm up, a lot of counterplay.
Well, and you
But
can't do like Al Kwong, right, and just GTFO. There's got to be an ally in range that you can target.
So
she use it as an escape.
She can't just use it in the open space to just juke moves.
Right.
So she needs a target. It's actually quite difficult to use optimally.
Okay.
But it is kind of cool that you can, right, if an ally is running away and he's got people trying to kill him, you can zoom in and hit him with the AoE, right?
And you were bringing up the teleport, and if an enemy gets hit by this, they're not going to have enough time to finish the teleport before she gets there. But if an ally were using the teleport and she got it at the last second, she'd go to their position when they landed, which is cool. Did we show multiple Odins getting hit when she arrives? That's pretty cool too.
I would like to see that, Pom Pom.
Yeah, because you're going to do damage. You're always going to do damage to your target if it's an enemy. But if there's a group of them, and close enough radius to them, you will also hit all of them with apply the bleed to all of them.
It's especially really nice for when you've got allies and enemies mixing with each other, because you would hate to accidentally hit an ally and like do no damage, but it's AoE all the time. Yeah.
So Gold Fury Fire Giant fights and stuff like that, very, very useful for just getting on in there, having some fun.
She's definitely got, this is a risky all-in ability. You have to be very careful. She can use her too to escape if she ends up in a bad spot, but this is a very pseudo movement ability that she can still find herself in very scary positions.
Well, yeah, because if you're in the jungle harrying some guy and then it's not working out, if you don't have an ally to teleport to, or you'd have to teleport to another enemy, which is just as bad. So
I'll be honest though, like so far I've not seen anything that looks very torturous in terms of devices yet. Is that what the ultimate's about?
That is exactly what the ultimate's about.
It better be.
The ultimate,
because you promised me it, AJ.
I know. So the ultimate is a torture device. It's called the Pow Lao. This was Daji's invention. It's a giant burning hot cylinder of metal.
Okay.
And historically, they would heat
What's
this
it
thing.
do?
They would heat this thing up. Hold on, we'll show you. One second.
This I'll buy one.
You'll heat this thing up, and they would push or chain people to it and like burn them slowly until they died. Or make them balance on it until they fell off and they burned in the coals. Whichever was more entertaining to Daji. So what this does is it's got a short channel time before she goes up in the air untargetable, and then she gets to fire up to 3 shots.
Okay.
This is a bit of a raw mix with Ares. So what you have is you have up to 3 shots. Those shots deal damage and also chain enemies. At the end of the duration, when she leaps down, if you're chained, you get pulled into the Pow Lao and applied a dot. A short stun and a heavy damage over time.
Wait. So I'm going to try and work out when to beads off this freaking thing when she's going down for the pull of like, where's she going to fire a second shot? Is she going to fire a third shot?
So there's an interesting new feature on Daji which works differently, which is if you beads the chains, it breaks the chains immediately.
Oh, you thought about that. I'm so proud of you guys.
So you can beads. You're still benefit to beads late because you can confuse Daji and maybe she'll try to shoot you more or something like that. But you can beads early. Just break the chains. You're free to go. She cannot rechain you with the same firing of that ability. Not till next time she uses it.
Interesting.
So you can beads or use an ultimate CC immunity, whatever, to break the chains at any time. So you don't need to wait to the very end like Ares. You can just, just CC immune at any time.
Morrigan springs to mind with this character as
We've
well.
been testing Morrigan.
For some reason, putting Morrigan with her together sounds like fantastic combination.
So the Daji's deployables fires here have a pretty good delay to them. They're pretty difficult to hit. I compare them to like a Chronos circle. So if you have a fast character, you can juke them. It takes a lot of a lot of practice from the dodgy
But
player.
you can jump down early is the key as well. You can actually can you dismount early?
No,
You have to fire all three.
No, you don't have to fire all three. You have to wait the entire duration, and the duration is actually rather quick. If you dilly-dally too much, it's easy to only have time to shoot 2 shots or so.
So if I fire my 3 shots very quickly, does that auto end it?
You wait.
You still have to wait.
You wait.
Okay, so it's a time intake.
It's very scripted. We want to go through one stage at a time to make sure the feedback is really clear here. And even for the players who test this on PTS, I want to make it known that we're still adjusting some of the fine tunings, audio and visuals for the specific steps here to make sure it reads clearly, because this is a complicated ability and a lot of things were still kind of coming together. But
Chuck,
I'm really happy with how it turned out.
That totem thing is really cool, by the way.
It's the Paolau.
I know. I think actually the design of the look of it and the actual game looks really fantastic too. Does that body block or anything? Or do you take damage from walking near it or anything like that?
You don't take any damage from walking near it, but it's purely a blocking volume.
Cool. So is it like a physical form that's in the game, like a Ymir wall, but it's not going to do any damage, just like a Ymir wall?
Or like an on her pillar.
That's a better way of doing it without the slow.
Yes.
So,
she's just on top of it, throwing chains.
So we know she's going to be a jungler. Like that's kind of a design. That's generally what Assassins is. Has she got any other roles, or is she got a certain point of the game where she's going to really shine? Would you say?
Definitely jungler.
Jungle murder.
Yeah. I think she is really a mid-game god.
Okay.
She's very all-in, so she has trouble late game because she'll get burned down really quickly.
Sure.
And early game, she really, once she gets her her 2 to max rank, and maybe once her 2 and her 1 to max rank, when she's got the maximum amount of kind of burst damage, that is when she's going to peak.
In a way, she kind of reminds me of Thanatos in that you're just kind of, you got to commit and get the kill.
Yep.
And then if somebody else comes, you better kill them too, because you're not getting away.
Yeah, except she can't heal herself in any way.
It's like Circuit without the escape.
True.
It feels more like an all-in Circuit that can't get back out necessarily.
Except without 2
unless
of the
you kill
best.
them.
It's like Circuit, but without having 2 of the best movement abilities in the game.
Yes. But I mean, with the all-in potential of Circuit, when she all-in, she also use a full combo and then disengage maybe with ambush. This is the same sort of thing, but you commit in fully.
Circuit is a lot more burst damage and instant lockdown. Dodgy, and this is kind of reinforcing the torture mechanics, which is things come out a little slower. There's a lot of dot components to the damage, and even her abilities all have very multi-stage. So you're going through this roller coaster of emotion on if Dodgy is going to be able to capitalize on these abilities or not, and a lot of questioning as opposed to just getting instant 1, 2, 3 dead.
But I mean,
so the 3 as well, determining how you place, does that make a difference with this or what?
Sure. So she's always going to be in the direction she was facing when she makes the movement. So if you fire and then turn around, you'll wind up on the other side of the enemy.
And if Pawn can show this in slow motion,
it's really cool.
If Pawn can show this in slow motion, there's also kind of a duplicates trail.
Yes.
Oh yeah, to show you the direction.
There's an effects trail from her destination.
You can't really see it when you're doing it, but to slow it down super slow.
This way he breaks the game now.
Do a 180. No, you got to back up.
Pawn's not having a good day.
It's too close.
Pawn.
You're too close, man. You got to back it up.
I got the idea of it though. I could kind
so what it does is it draws a line from her teleport to her destination. So you can see, even if you don't know if she went over a wall or you don't know it because she was swerving around a lot during the setup time, you can see the line tell you where she went.
That's kind of cool. I like that effect that you've added there, just to make sure it's nice and clear for where did she go to? Oh, she's over there.
It's the slow-mo, it doesn't appear to be
It's been tricky to show, but it'd probably be better.
Yeah, slow-mo effects
yeah, they don't always
slow over distance.
I know.
Jeez,
one day we'll do a patch notes so we can get
But anyway, if another person is watching you do it, you'll see a line of dodgy images go to the target.
Now, she does obviously come with a voice pack as well. We'll just see if we can hear it. I can hear
a base voice pack, so it should work.
So it should work. We'll find out. Pom Pom.
There it is.
That is.
Yes. You may live. Merciless. Bow down before me. Bow down before me. I learned long ago that compassion gets you nowhere. I'd like to slice you open and see what makes you tick. I'm sure you'd love to spend a night with me, but I doubt you'd survive it. I adore ballroom dancing, especially if we do the foxtrot.
There's a joke.
Want to know how to torture a male god? Ignore him. What do you give the girl who has everything? You give her more!
Yeah.
Sounds like my wife.
Got a lot
Attack!
of That might get you in trouble.
I will. Don't worry.
She doesn't watch the stream.
Wait, don't seem to understand is like I'll banter all day with you guys, but at home I'm definitely whipped.
So she's got a good, interesting personality. You know, it's a little combination of kind of royal and
really
elegant,
cool voice crack.
but still just psychotic and evil and selfish.
The first thing I thought was regal. She sounds like a queen, but at the same time, she's an evil queen to me.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
Completely ruthless and bloodthirsty, but still having a good time with it.
Yeah, of course
and
she
I
is.
know everybody's going, this is strong, but this is going to be the Loki type thing where you commit, you kill somebody, and then you get...
I feel
you get memed on Twitter and Reddit as like, I killed Loki today.
I mean, every new god is OP always, right? That's what they always say. So we'll see. This one is going to be interesting. I think it's going to vary a lot based on skill level.
Right, but what I'm saying is that I feel like skill isn't going to determine... You're going to be able to kill people, or are you going to be able to kill people and not die immediately afterwards?
And the difference between like doing 99% of someone's health and 100% is a huge difference for her. Because it's probably not only the difference between a kill or not, but also living
Whether
or
you
not.
live. Yeah.
So
good point.
Well, gentlemen, this has been fantastic. I'm really excited to see how DoTA plays out in the game of Smite as well. What's your favorite thing going to change? Other than, obviously, the god that's about to come out, Chuck, what's your favorite thing this patch? I've got the other skin as well. I forgot about that. Do you want to see the other skin? Maybe you'll choose this, actually. Maybe
the Dodgy recolor?
Dodgy recolor skin.
I don't know. I think Dodgy turned out really great.
I think
like
the Dodgy card art.
The Dodgy card art is some of the most amazing stuff. The default card art for her is crazy good.
I just said exactly what Twitch chat we're all thinking.
You're not wrong.
Well, we wanted her to be a little bit more Chun-Li and a little less, you know, super skinny all the way around.
Okay. I was wondering, when you said Chun-Li, I was like, where's he going to go with this next one then? Who I was going to reference, and you went, skinny. Oh. Skinny. You could think of another person to think of it.
Yeah.
Not Chun-Li, but not a skinny person. So for you, what about you, Fish? What's your favorite thing in the patch?
Man, I really want to see how these XP changes play out. We did a lot of testing, and we've heard a lot of feedback. So we hope that improves the meta. And obviously, if it doesn't, we'll keep working on it.
AJ?
Yeah. And that said, PTS. When it goes up, we'll let you know. But
play it, tell us.
Get in there, play it. We should have a spectator working. So pros, if you want to scrim, you want to record your matches, you want to send us videos of show us things you think are working well or not.
Look at this OP! Look at this underpowered! Yeah, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Let's see it instead of just speculating wildly. Let's take a look at it. But I mean, my favorite is really. I mean, it's .G.
Of course it is.
I think the skins were
yours
great.
Is safe when yours like, I just want to pick the new god.
The animation team and the art team worked really hard to get all the tails and everything working well, and this complicated cinematic multi-staged ultimate, you know, and the programmers, everybody worked really hard on the god, and she turned out great.
Awesome.
She did.
So generally what we're looking for here is scheduled release should be Tuesday.
Yeah, patch is always
on.
Yeah,
patch should always go out the Tuesday, and live. PTS should be out when it's out sometime later this week.
Hopefully tonight, maybe tomorrow. You know,
awesome.
It depends on the bugs.
Same old thing. Depends if Pom Pom can work out voice packs.
There's a couple known issues, is what we call those.
Known issues. Known issues. Intended issues.
It means we're working on them already.
Okay.
And as soon as those get fixed, we'll just get a lot of bug reports for them, even though we're already fixing them.
Known issues mean bugs we haven't fixed yet.
Oh, thank you.
That you don't need to report because we're already working on them.
So now you can just respond with known issues. Like we're working on these bugs all the time. Just respond with known issues. Been a pleasure as always, guys. That's all we got time for on the Patch Note Show. DoTA will be hitting a system on your side very, very soon as well. We'll see you again in 2 weeks' time.